around the world with whatever streaming platform you are using. We are trying our best, but in the meantime, you are listening to your host, the Reverend Doctor. You can call me Denise. I'm excited to be in here with you on this day. We have a special guest in the house, and we are working to make sure that you will be able to see and hear him as we go forward. But before that, I want to make sure that you know how excited we are that you have joined us for this occasion. Community Voices Live from 9 to 10 right here at KBF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. It is with gratitude that we greet you this morning to let you know that we are thankful for you showing up in this space. We are so glad that you thought enough about us to stop right here and join this conversation. And the phone lines are absolutely open at 501-433-0088, 501-433-0088. That's where we are. And you can call in at any time and have your voice, lend your voice to the conversation. That's exactly what you can do, especially while we are working very diligently to make sure that everyone is able to join the conversation through whatever means you have available to you on your streaming platforms. You can go to www.kabf.org and you can see us there. And you can also go to any platform that streams the radio. You should be able to find us there, and that is what we are working on right now. But I also want to greet you in the spirit of Sawubona, that spirit of oneness that says to us, reminds us every single day that you are invited to see the whole every person you interact with, to recognize their divinity, to celebrate their humanity, to make sure that you honor who they are with the whole of who they are. That's what Sawubona asks us to do, and that is what we are doing right here. So anybody that wants to join into the conversation, you are absolutely welcome in this space. Did you check to see if we're up? I know we're on YouTube. We'll check. And so we just want to make sure that we are streaming everywhere. I also want to take a moment to kind of tie up a loose end from last Tuesday. I was talking about Taylor Townsend, and I was talking about Yelena Ostapenko, that conversation they were having. It really wasn't a conversation, it was more like an altercation they were having at the net. And one of the callers called in to push back on me, saying that I believe that what Ostapenko was doing was rooted and grounded and sourced in racism. And the caller's comment was, it's really not fair for me to assume that, because it really is possible that Ostapenko got the languages mixed up. Since she is not from America, she is from Latvia, then it is possible that she's been spending so much time training, so much time trying to be at the top of her game, that she really hasn't spent a lot of time trying to learn the language, and she hasn't had the exposure to the language as I am probably assuming. And so I told a caller, I really appreciated that. I feel like I said we were going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't hear that part, but it's okay either way. But I said I was going to do some work, some research on the etymology of these words, etiquette versus education, and translating them from Latvian to English, so that I could really think about what he was saying and really engage in the dialogue. And so that's what I was doing. And so the etymology did not help me. Let me just say that. Going through to find out the origins of the words, that did not help me one bit. But it did help me to look at the direct translation from Latvian to English when they are looking at their words and thinking about their words. That is where I found the information that I'm about to share right now. So I was right. There's really no way that Ostapenko did not understand what she was saying when she was accusing Taylor Townsend of not being educated, because the word for education in Latvian, it's a whole long word that starts with an I, like 10 letters or 12 letters. But the word etiquette translates directly from Latvian to English. So the same word etiquette in English is the same word etiquette in Latvian. There's no translation that's necessary. It is directly across the board the same word. It might be spelled differently, but it is the same word. So if she was trying to say etiquette, she did not have to search her grammar. She did not have to search her lexicon. She would have been able to do that just seamlessly. She would have been able to do that smoothly, and she did not do that. So she meant to call Taylor Townsend uneducated and unclassed. And so I just wanted to bring that up to let you all know that I take seriously what you say when you bring in your comments, that I am here for the conversation. I want to engage it on both sides. I am not one just trying to force my perspective on anybody. I want us to talk about it and think about it and move forward with a greater understanding. So thank you all for that. I do want to take a moment to introduce, I let him introduce himself, our guest in the house, before we move on with announcements and before we move on with the EJ activity. Raheem, oh, I see you now. In the house.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Raheem White, and I am a community health worker with Arkansas Raps and the Starlight Foundation. And I just want to say thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here in our office. We usually have something playing in the background. Sometimes it's the news, but sometimes it is your show. So Cornelius is a fan, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Raheem. When you said that you are with Arkansas Raps, can you just tell us a little bit about what that means? Who are they? I'm not sure if everybody knows.
Okay. So Arkansas Raps and the Starlight Foundation is a community-led and community-driven organization that focuses on sexual health. So some of the biggest things that we do are link people to HIV prevention medicine, such as PrEP, and HIV treatment, ARTs, such as Biktarvy. But we also just do a lot of education around HIV and sexual wellness. And the thing that we have come to find out is that when you try to approach these things from like a whole person perspective, you have to delve into a little bit more than just the sexual health of it all. So we have we give food out, we give clothes, we kind of try to meet the needs of the person to just make sure that they can live their best and healthiest lives.
All right, thank you for that. And I am glad that you are here too. And I know from firsthand experience that there's always something going on at Arkansas Raps. Sometimes I get confused. I'm not going to tell a story. So when you said the Starlight Foundation versus the Living Room Wellness Resource Center versus Arkansas Raps, sometimes I'm like, well, are y'all all one? And is it all together? Like, I'm not sure which is which sometimes.
Yeah.
Does anybody else get confused sometimes?
I can say that, yes. And I think people do get confused. And we've been in the process of delineating those. But how it works is the Living Room Wellness Resource Center is the building that houses our office, as well as the offices of a couple other organizations, our community and event space. Arkansas Raps is the program through which we do our PrEP navigation in partnership with Q Care Plus, and then the Starlight Foundation. That's a little bit more of our advocacy range, and that includes our partnership with the Department of Health.
Okay, so we'll be talking, I'm going to dig a little more into that in just a minute, but first let me give you all some announcements. Osiris Bali, this is his announcement. He is a member of the Little Rock School Board. He's on the board. He will be moderating a town hall discussion on Arkansas ballot measures at First United Methodist Church in Little Rock on Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 6 p.m. So that's next Tuesday. Osiris Ball will be moderating a town hall discussion. Join Citizens First Congress, Arkansas Public Policy Panel, and partners from Protect Arkansas Rights, and for Arkansas Kids Grassroots Coalitions they're in partnership for this town hall. Again, Osiris Bali, a board member for the Little Rock School District, will be moderating a town hall discussion, and it's happening on next Tuesday. And then also, this is happening today. Recently, citizens of Franklin County submitted a formal complaint to the Arkansas legislature requesting a full investigation into the Franklin County prison project. And so today at 1 p.m., Little Rock is going to be opposing the 3,000-bed Franklin County prison. So if you are interested in joining the movement, joining the fight against this 3,000-bed prison that is going to be in Franklin County, they will be on the steps. The hearing will be in the multi-agency complex, Room A, located behind the Arkansas State Capitol at 1 Capitol Mall. The hearing will be in the multi-agency complex, the MAC Room A, located behind the Arkansas State Capitol at One Capitol Mall. If you cannot make it, please call and email the committee members to tell them you are opposed to the prison expansion project. This is very important, especially for people who say that they're allies, for folks who are Black and brown, people who are members of the Black and brown community, people who understand the spirit of Sawubona that says that we are all one. So whatever affects me affects you. We are asking you to make sure you understand how awful this would be for our community to expand the prison project, especially when they are basing the beds on the reading scores of Black children, particularly Black boys in the 3rd grade, and thinking about how this world, especially this country, is attacking public schools. So public schools are not even allowed to do what they need to do. So the prison industrial complex, the pipeline from school to prison, is alive and well, and this is just another reminder of that. And so we want to make sure that you are aware that this is a place where you can have your voice heard in protest against this this expansion. Also, we welcome you. This is from Cornelius. This is Cornelius. Join us for the National HIV/AIDS Day Party. You're going to have live entertainment with Country Graham, Kitty Couture, Tatum Tots, and DJ Juan. It's a free cookout with free beverages Saturday, September 20th from 2 to 6 p.m. That's next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday. Celebrate with us as we raise awareness with slaying the myths and the education. It's taking place at the building that Raheem was just talking about, the Living Room Wellness Resource Center, 8619 Chico Road, 8619 Chico Road in Little Rock, Arkansas, 72209. So this is a free cookout and beverages so that you can learn and be educated around the things that this organization has to offer us as a community. And I believe that those are all of the announcements that I have to share with you on this day. So Raheem, I asked you if you had a song that's motivational, that's inspirational, one song that you, oh, wait, let me stop right here. I need to say one more thing about announcements. Y'all, I've been looking for Hotep. When I tell y'all I've been looking for him for the past couple of weeks. I've sent him more than one text message. I was looking for him so hard, sending him so many text messages that I decided to stop texting him because I was worried that he would think I was a stalker. And I didn't want him to think I was a stalker. I know he sees me texting him and he's not responding, so he must not want to talk to me. So I'm like, okay. And I meant to ask you all to reach out to him and tell me what you found out. But he has reached out today, Hotep in the house, and he is out of the hospital. So that's all I know. That's all he shared. But I am glad, Hotep, so glad that you are back in stride again, and here with us on this feed. Thank you so much. But Raheem, I asked you, I said, is there a song that you find inspirational, motivational, that you use for whatever reason? And you chose Freedom, the song, and that's why I played the song as an introduction to this conversation. You chose Freedom. And so I wanted to take a moment before the EJI tidbit to ask you why. Like, why this song? Why now? What does it mean to you?
Yes, so Freedom first, I am a member of the Beehive. I have a Beehive. So to choose something from her discography, with Kendrick on there makes it even easier. But there's a specific line, I like the general idea of the song, but there's a specific set of lines where she says, I break chains all by myself, won't let my freedom ride me hell. I'm going to keep running because the winner don't quit on themselves. And I think that's just empowering. Like, think of it that way. Like, a winner does quit on themselves. I'm not going to just give my freedom away. And I have the power and the authority to break chains all by myself.
All by myself. And I think that's a very important reminder to us as a community, because I think that sometimes I wonder when we think about the Black community in particular, and I think I said this a few weeks ago, I feel like we're grieving the loss of, we're still grieving the loss of Dr. King. Like, and we're still asking, where is our leader? We're still looking for this person that's going to come and take up the torch and lead us forward, when really we should take a page from the Black Lives Matter movement that says we don't have one person that's a figurehead for us. All of us together together as community. We lead this movement. We are doing the work. We're not waiting for anybody. We don't need anybody. We got it. We can handle it. And so when you say, she says, I can break the chains all by myself, that we can raise up together and do the work that needs to be done, even though we still deserve, don't get me wrong, we still deserve reparations. We still deserve the world to apologize for the system of enslavement. We still deserve all of those things. But as we fight for that, there's nothing stopping us from doing some work on our own. So she says, she reminds us, I can break chains all by myself. And then she says, I'm not going to let my freedom ride here. Yeah, you're not, listen, this is my freedom. I'm claiming it. I'm named. You know, we do this, and some people do this at church, but we don't do it individually. We don't do it in our personal life. You name something and claim something. You name freedom is mine. You claim it as yours, and you work for it, and you walk in it, and you demand it for everybody to recognize in your space. And so I really appreciate the song. And I also, we talked about this before the show. I got kind of caught up for a minute because she also says, one of the lines says, freedom, freedom, cut me loose. And I misunderstood it at first. And I said, this does not make sense to me for her to say, freedom, I want you to cut me loose. Like, why would she want to get cut loose from freedom? Like, I just don't understand. So I was just sitting and thinking and sitting and centering the words. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's not the way I read it is wrong. The way you read it is freedom, freedom. Like, I'm calling out for freedom. Y'all cut me loose. And so because of the song, she's not going to put in every single word. You got to understand, you got to vibe with it, you got to figure it out. And so I'm like, oh, so she's crying out to the world, she's crying out to humanity, she's crying out to whoever, saying freedom is what I'm looking for, freedom is what I'm fighting for. I need everything else to cut me loose. I don't need to be bound by any systems, not the system of religion, not the system of racism, not the system of sexism, not the system of homophobia, not the system of none of these systems. I need all of that to cut me loose because I'm crying out for my freedom. And I told you that I really believe that this is a great lesson for me to learn because it's the art of interpretation. So people are reading these words, and somebody might think that she actually does mean for freedom to cut her loose, because in the freedom they've gotten too free, too lax, that they're doing things that aren't good for them. So they don't want this freedom. They need some structure in their lives. They need some rules. They need some guidelines. So they might interpret it that way, and that is fine. But I'm not interpreting it that way, and that is fine. So this idea that we all can read the same thing, get something from it, and both of us be right.
Absolutely.
Caller, you're loud on the air, KBF 8.3 FM. Thanks for calling Community Voices.
Hi there. I was reaching out to see if I could get in contact and get some email addresses from some of the DJs. Are you the right person to talk to?
I really think you need to call the office so that you can talk to our program director. Let me give you that number. Do you have a pen?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Hold on, give me one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready for you.
Okay, the number is area code 501.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
501 is the area code.
501
372
377
372.
Oh, wait, hold on. Just a little up here. I'll go some more quiet. Okay, sorry. That was 501
372
372.
6119.
One more time with the last digit.
6119. That's 501 372 6119. His name is Charles.
Come again?
His name is Charles.
Oh, thank you so much, my dear. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. I don't know why Hotep says he can't see us on the Facebook, because I went through it. You still can't see us?
So it's shared somewhere, but not to your page. I'm not sure where it's live. I shared it through my page and the Arkansas Raps page. So you're live somewhere, but it's not through your page or the radio station page. I'm not sure where it connected.
Okay, so all right. So can you share to Hotep Can you look up Hotep on your Facebook page and share to him? I think he's on Facebook as Hotep, Hotep. If not, oh my goodness, do I remember his real name? Oh Lord, I know his real name too. Can't even think about it right now because I'm got too much going on. Okay, so while you're doing that, so let me bring us in with the EJI tidbit for today. On September 9th in 1957, mobs of white church members led by a local minister protest the integration of a white elementary school by 19 Black 6-year-olds in Nashville. The school is bombed the next morning. So on September 9th, in 1957, which is not long ago, mobs of white church members led by a local minister protest the integration of a white elementary school by 19 Black 6-year-olds in Nashville. The school is bombed the next morning. So when we talk about interpretation, when we talk about people reading the same thing and walking away with something different, that's a very real thing, particularly when we're talking about the Bible. Because if you've got mobs, not a mob, but mobs of white church members who are led by their minister to protest integration meaning the combining. We want to combine the races in this school, and there are 19 6-year-olds. So your God told you to come out here and protest against 6-year-olds being in school as Black children, being in school with white children. If that's what you read, if that's what you get out of your Bible, then there's something wrong with your interpretation. I said before that it's okay that people walk away with different interpretations, and it is okay that you have a different interpretation. I'm not going to walk back those words. I still stand firm on that. But if your interpretation causes harm to somebody else, then it needs to be checked. Right? And so the only way that you will know that you're causing harm is if you're in relationship with other people who don't see things the way that you do. So the different interpretations work well for us to engage in dialogue, for us to have conversation, for us to debate the issue. And then once it's raised to your attention, once it's raised to your level of consciousness that your way of thinking is harmful, then that's when you have to interrogate yourself and say, wait a minute, perhaps I'm seeing this wrong. And then once you can name it, then you can claim the power over it to change. And that's what the conversations are about, especially in this case, because one of the reasons why Raheem is here is to talk about the book club that Arkansas Raps, has extended an invitation to. Extended the invitation to. We're going to talk about that. I want to get this comment in from Lo. Hotep, I call him Hotep, but some people call him Low. My challenge still stands. The most violent communities are lily white. The most violent communities are lily white. And so when you think about it, because these are white folks, I am just partial to children and to the elderly. When I think about vulnerable people, vulnerable populations, the first people that come to mind are children. The second people that come to mind are the elderly. And so if whatever it is you believe in gives you permission to harm children and the elderly, I can't get with it. I don't understand that. And so these are white folks opposing these 16-year-olds, and it's not hard for us in Little Rock to believe this, because some people are like, that's fake news. You can believe it because we had in 1957, we had that happening right here with Central High School. And so we know that this is happening. It's happening all across the country. Anti-Blackness still runs rampant throughout the world, and particularly in this country. So I wanted to bring that in because in this book club, the first book that was chosen we just started the book club, 2 weeks ago? I think it's been 2 weeks ago. We just started the book club. We gathered together to get our books because the books are free in this club. Yes. All the books gonna be free?
We would like to keep it that way. We're gonna see how it goes.
Okay. But right now in this moment, the books are free. Mm-hmm. And they're purchased through Raps, and I encourage you to get them from Pyramid, Art Books and Custom Framing, right here, 1001 Wright Avenue. So you can order them from them so that we can support a local Black business. But so you can get the books right now. The books are free. You want to join the book club? The first book is All Boys Aren't Blue, and it is a memoir by George M. Johnson. Don't let me do all the talking. So, All Boys Aren't Blue. This is the first book in your. Wait. When you were talking about raps, and I was asking you to give us a breakdown of what that is, you said that you do, it's about sexual health and raising awareness and being educative and informative for people to understand the importance of making sure that you manage your own sexual health, not depending on anybody else to do it, your partner, your spouse, whoever, you manage your own sexual health. And you brought up PrEP. But I know that there are some people listening who do not know what PrEP is. So before we get into the book, because I feel like all of this ties together, talk to us about PrEP.
Yes, so PrEP is stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. It is a medication that you can take that is highly effective at preventing the transmission of HIV. So because it is pre-exposure, you do take PrEP before you have any chance encounters with HIV. So we have a couple different modalities out right now. Right now, they have a daily pill that you can take to prevent HIV. They also have a shot that you can take every 2 months. And they're working on shots that have even longer spans of time in between. So in the case where HIV used to develop into late stage HIV, or what we refer to as AIDS. Now we have many tools in helping prevent them, and PrEP is just one of those that we use.
Okay, and so this is for a person who does not have HIV.
Correct.
And so this is something that you could take, particularly, well, you need to take when you thinking about your own behavior, right, and your own partners. And so some people, because we are still operating under so many myths around HIV, and so it's important for us to remind people that HIV is not something that is contagious. Like if I touch somebody with HIV, I'm gonna get it, or somebody with HIV spits on me, then I'm gonna get it. Like that is just, those are myths that we are debunking right now. And so it is possible for a person who does not have HIV to be in a relationship with a person who does have HIV, and that person is able to engage in the relationship in all of the ways that relationships afford us opportunities to be with each other, physically, emotionally, romantically, psychologically, all of these ways that we want to be together. It is possible. And that relationship, when you are partnered with someone who has HIV but you do not, we call that a serodiscordant relationship. Serodiscordant. It means that one person has it and one person does not. And there is a way to be healthy and to be safe and to be careful in that relationship. And PrEP is one of the ways that happens for the person who does not have HIV, right? So if you already have HIV, then PrEP is not for you. But if you do not have HIV, then PrEP is for you, right? That's who it's for, the person who does not have it, so that you can keep not having it, so that we can to work. Nothing is 100%, like no birth control, no HIV, no STI cure is 100%, right? Whatever you're using to keep yourself safe from STIs, sexually transmitted infections, or whatever you're doing in your sexual practice, nothing is 100%. Condoms are not 100%. Birth control is not 100%. So there are, so we're not pretending that this is a fail-safe, right? Like, if you do this, you won't get it. We're not saying that. We're saying that this is absolutely one of the ways that you can continue to keep yourself safe and safer in managing your sexual health. And so when we talk about Lo says, this is another opportunity. Another opportunity is HOPWA, which deals with housing. So HOPWA is housing opportunities for people with AIDS, and they really need to change don't you think they need to change that name? Yes. Housing opportunity for people with AIDS. They shouldn't say that, because not everyone who is on HOPWA, just because you're saying gender loving, like that doesn't mean that you are that you have AIDS, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get AIDS. But anyway, that's the name. That's the current name of HOPWA. That's an acronym for Housing Opportunities for People with AIDS, and it is it's an umbrella organization kind of thing, where it allows you not only to get housing, but it seeks to make sure that you have all of your needs met. So it helps you get to work, it helps you with day childcare, like all of the things that you need to make sure that you are living your best life, even if you are living with HIV. Because HIV is no longer it's considered a death sentence. Again, that's a myth, that if you get HIV, you're going to die. We know people that have been living with it for 10, 20, 30 years, maybe even 40 in some cases, that I know people who have been living living with it. So it's not a death sentence. We need to destigmatize it, and that's part of this conversation on today. And so talk to me, and so that's all of that is important when you think about this book, All Boys Aren't Blue. So talk to me about this memoir manifesto with George M. Johnson.
Yeah, so George M. Johnson, early in the book, they state about one of their favorite quotes coming from Toni Morrison. And it basically just says, if there's a story that you want to read that's not out there, you have to write it. So they set out in this quest to write the memoir of a Black queer person. So a coming of age story of a Black queer person. We talk about some of the things that they went through, some of the experiences that they had during their youth to young adult times, so that others could see themselves in that book and know that they are not alone, that, you know, they're not the weird kid, that they're not strange, that these are experiences that everyone has, and that, you know, to normalize it, to destigmatize Blackness, queerness, and to talk about how those identities intersect.
And one of the things I really appreciate about the book, first of all, it's when I say easy reading, I don't mean that it is dumbed down or anything like that. I'm saying because it's in story form and because he adds humor to it, like it's just pleasant. I should say it's a pleasant read, even though he's dealing with issues and tackling issues that are absolutely heartbreaking and harmful and traumatic. The way that he does it, it allows us to receive it in a way that I do believe he accomplishes his mission and his goal. Because a couple of more than once throughout the book, he will say, "This is hard for me to talk about. This is a very vulnerable space for me, but I know that it is necessary because somebody needs to hear this story so that they will know that they are not alone, so that they will know that I see them, so that they will know that they have representation, so they will know that this doesn't have to be something that leads you into suicide or anything like that." And so I believe it accomplishes that mission of being something that we can receive and think about so that we can figure out how it moves us to action. One of the things I also appreciate about the book that I was not expecting, even though this is my second time reading it, it's been so long since I read it the first time that I kind of forgotten some of the pieces. So I was expecting his Black family to be against him. I was expecting his Black family on the grounds of religion to say, we cannot accept you for being gay because Jesus, right? And so that was one of the reasons I read that particular tidbit, because we have people who are rooting their oppression in the Bible. They're using the Bible as justification for traumatizing people, for causing pain, for causing harm, and they expect themselves, they assume, in some cases, they really believe that they're on the side of right. But as I said, when we were talking about the EJI tidbit, anytime your belief system causes harm to someone else, then your belief system needs to be checked. But that's not what happened in the case of George M. Johnson. His family did embrace him, his mama, his nanny. We love you just because of who you are. But that's not usually what we hear. And that's definitely not usually what we hear in Black communities, because many times speaking, painting with a broad brush. So obviously this is not every Black family because it's not his Black family. So I'm not talking about every Black family, but many Black families are homophobic. And some of them are because the rationale is, you know, you already got 2 strikes against you being Black and being male, or being Black and being female, whatever your Black and your gender is, your race and gender, that's already 2 strikes against you in this country. And so to add another marginalization, another marginalized identity, it's setting you up for even more pain. And so some parents feel like, I need to keep you safe. So let's figure out how to not be gay, pray it away. We're going to do some conversion, you know, whatever it is, because we don't want you to have to suffer in this way. And so they think that they're trying to protect their children, but actually it causes more harm because you are LGBTQ, because that is the way that you were created. So I really appreciate his family for showing up and being a model for us in how families can come around and come together to support our children no matter what they are going through. And it's not just you're thinking about sexual identity, sexual orientation, or gender identity. We could be talking about people who are addicted to drugs. We could be talking about people who are addicted to food. We could be talking about people who are addicted to sex. We can talk about people who are addicted to crime. Like, we could be talking about whatever makes them different from how you expected them to be or how you want them to be. You can still rally around them and support your family, your friends, and your loved ones. So I really appreciated that part of the book. And I know you've read it. What you said, it's your 4th time?
Yes, about fourth or fifth time reading it for
Why
sure.
do you keep reading this book, right?
Well, I like to go back to it for, I mean, some of the same reasons that you are mentioning, like with that family dynamic, to remind myself that, we are moving in more progressive times, I believe, where Black families can handle the conversations and the acceptance around gender diversity, around sexual identities differently. So there's a lot of just that I relate to in the book. I too was raised by my grandma, and I called her nanny. So
Oh,
it was just so much in the book that I related to, the questions around like gender identity and things like that, and just the reclamation of, being proud of how your Blackness and your queerness intersect.
calling you live on the air at KBF at 8.3. Thanks for calling Community Voices.
Yes, I'm here on the program. My question is, now, if I approach, say, a man with a man body, a male body, now I don't know how he's thinking, whether he thinks he's a woman or not. I don't know. I'm only going by what I see. Now, I might vote him as a man, but he's a woman, and he get offended at me because of what I see. This can happen to me before with male and what I would appear to be a male. And it happened to be out there dressed that evening. I had to change my language to say, ma'am, like I used to do, miss. I supposed to know who is who by what I see. See, I can't look at a Ford and call it a Cadillac. I don't know. I don't care what nobody do. They did it. But I ain't gonna change my mind by what I see. I can't lie to my own self. I mean, I think some people that expect to do much for people. Yeah, I ain't telling you going to hell. I don't know where you're going to go. I don't even know what you do with really could tell that. So how do you deal with that?
Thank you, Colin. Do you want to take a stab at it before I do, Raheem?
Yes, I would just say, with that, the thing that I had to learn was that I couldn't make assumptions. Even in the case that you were talking about, like a Ford and a Cadillac, it has a label on it. So you know what it is. It's proclaiming itself to be this. So if we don't make assumptions based on what we see, then anybody can be anything. And if you approach everybody with that kind of neutrality, it can help. But I know that can be a bit overwhelming. I think a big lesson to take in that is that it's okay for you to accidentally do something that offends somebody. And it's okay for that person to let you know that they were offended. We don't have to make a big deal about it. Oftentimes, if you were to accidentally misgender someone, you could just, and they get offended, it could be as easy as apologizing and trying to move on. In most cases, they are looking to really make a big deal about it. But I think it is important to acknowledge when we hurt someone or offend them, even if it's unintentional, and just to take that opportunity as an opportunity to learn and to grow.
Yeah, and I want to add to that I feel like everybody should calm down. Right. So I feel like people who are on the spectrum of sexual orientation, who may be transitioning or whatever it is, I feel I agree with the caller that if this is what you see, this is your perception of who you're talking to. I'm not going to try to change your perception. And so when you say something to the person, you call them male or sir, and that's the wrong pronoun to use, or that's the wrong gender to assume, then I don't think that it's fair for the people who are of trans experience to go off, because you've been living with yourself all these years, and you've been on this journey of discovering who you are. You've been on this journey of changing your name. So your journey. The rest of us do not. And so for you to snap because somebody got the gender wrong, I do think it's unfair on both sides. To be misgendered is unfair, and to snap because you were misgendered, I think it's unfair. So that's why I'm saying everybody calm down and let's grant each other grace. And so I thought I saw one thing and I didn't. I apologize for that. And you say, oh, well, you know what, no problem, no worries, just, don't call me that no more, whatever. So I just feel like, I kind of feel like we're all walking around so tense, like so scared that we're going to say the wrong thing and what's going to happen. And they're going to, like you said, Raheem, like we do things on accident all the time. And it's not even just around sexual orientation and gender identity, because I was in a room one time where I called a person Black. I'm looking at the person. I see them as a reflection of who I am. I feel like I'm looking in the mirror, and I recognized her as a Black woman. And when she started talking, she said, first of all, I'm not Black. She was, I don't know if she called herself African or Caribbean, however she identified herself, it was not Black. And so I was like, oh, my father. And so I learned from that going into other facilitations that I cannot assume that just because you have dark skin and a wide nose that you Black like me. And so it's across the board where we have to just begin to grant each other grace. And no one is asking you to not be who you are. No one is asking you to doubt what your eyes see. All we're saying is engage in the conversation. We were just in McAllister's on in North Little Rock Sunday. We went there after church to have some food, and our white person, I couldn't tell. I could not tell the gender identity. And so I simply asked the person when they came to wait on me to get whatever I needed. I want some more sour cream for my potato. I said, what are your pronouns? Right? I asked. And she said, oh, she, I'm her. I said, okay. And we went with it, right? It was very simple, no big deal. I did not know, I did not understand what I saw, because honestly, I thought they were going to say they. I really did. I didn't think they were going to say she. So I did not peg her as she. That was not my perception, but that's how she identifies. So if we would just engage more in conversations, relax a little bit, grant each other grace, we would be better off. We're not going to be okay, but we would be better off. Thank you, Carla. And then here's Lo saying, don't get me started on Jonathan and David. Because we're talking about Jonathan and David in the Bible, most people do not want to acknowledge the fact that it is highly probable that David and Jonathan were same gender loving, that they were gay, or you can consider David to be bisexual, because we know he had relationships with women because he raped Bathsheba. So we know that he's interested in having sex with women because he also had a wife, Micah. Yeah, so so we know that he has that side, but when he says to Jonathan that I love you with a love that's greater than my love for a woman, then you have to unpack that, right? And we don't want to do that because it's in the Bible. Oh no, can't be. And so that's what it looks like. That is in the Bible. It's a real story in the Bible, in the book of 1st or 2nd Samuel. So we have to begin to say, listen, we think we know everything, but honestly we don't. And we have to give people the room to be who they are, and whatever that is, whoever they are, and be okay with it. And nobody's asking you to agree. I was listening to a crime show, and one of the police officers, a Black woman had been killed, and she was a sex worker, and the cop, she would see this cop all the time because the cop is patrolling the blade where she walks as a sex worker. And he said she went missing because she was killed. She went missing, and he said, I didn't approve of what she was doing, but I knew her. We became friendly. And my first thought was, who asked you if you approved? Like, who? Why did you even say that? Like, that's not the question. That's not, the woman is missing. She's been killed. We're trying to find her. We find her body over here in this man's basement, and you tell me I don't approve of what she's doing. It's her body, if that's what she wants to do. And I think that's another part that keeps getting tripped up in the conversation. Everybody wants to tell everybody what you ought to be doing, what I don't like about what you're doing, what I don't think is right about what you're doing. We're not asking you that. We're asking you in the spirit of Sawubona to create space for people to be who they are, just like you want people to create space for you to be who you are. That's the only question that we're asking. Not whether or not you approve or agree, but can you be mindful of somebody else's humanity? And so this book club, how did it start? Why did you all decide to do the book club?
Really, it started, we were in the office. We were just talking about, I think we're hearing statistics about literacy or the low literacy levels, and we were talking about in general about some of our community members not seeming to want to read and the importance of reading and not wanting it to be something that's lost. And it started as we wondered if people would even be interested. So I kind of threw it up as an idea. As things sometimes go in the office, Cornelius agreed to it. And then I made a Facebook post and we kind of went from there. Once I saw that people were actually interested, like the next day I came back, I'm like, no, I think people may actually want to read. Right. So we quickly, the number started rising. Then we realized we had about 15 people. And I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And I know personally there would be times, I read a lot. I try to read about 30 minutes to an hour every day, if not longer. Depending on how busy my day is, I can't always fit it in. So I was going through books, and then I get to the end of a book, and I'm like, man, I want to discuss this. But then no one else would have read the book, or no one in my immediate circle would have read the book. So this was a way to insulate that and create a way to have an echo chamber to talk to people about the books that I read.
Hold on just a minute. Caller, you're live on the air, KBL. Thanks for calling Community Voices.
Yeah. In the church, they use the term agape love. But when you run the word back into Greek, I think it is, they would be surprised at what they find agape love was about. I won't get into it. I will just let people look it up. And they'll know what over in the word comes from. And they'll see that it's not what they think it is. They just took the word and made it into what they wanted to be. But the root of the word means something totally different. And now, I ain't got no problem with nobody. Their identity is what their identity is, and that's that. And another thing, they say in religion, they say, oh, that's not the will of God. Well, then why God let it happen? There's a lot of things that God didn't have that may not be what you think the will is. But hey, God don't want it, God can stop it, not me. That is not my work, So people need to be careful how they condemn other people. And, everybody, I believe, got a dog side to them that they ain't never really took a real good look off in their own self to see what the hell they see. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, thank you, Colin. We were talking about this. We were talking about that a few Tuesday nights ago, where I was talking to one of the people that comes onto the feed is a Black gay man, and we were just talking about those intersections of being Black and being gay, the double marginalization, and how people respond to that. Especially, he's also spiritual, so he goes to churches. So how people are like, you go to church, like what? And so he's like, it's just amazing. And my response was like, it's really interesting where the way we act, like we'll say, to the caller's point, we'll say that God is omniscient, meaning that God is all knowing. And we'll say that God is omnipotent, God is all powerful. And then we'll say that God is omnipresent, God is everywhere at the same time. So we'll use those omni words, those big old words. And so God knows everything. Well, if we say that and we believe that in our faith, especially the Christian faith, then if God knows everything, you think God didn't know that this person was going to be same gender loving?
Right.
You think God didn't know that this person was going to be a person of trans? You really believe that God is like, oh my goodness.
Surprise. Yeah.
Like, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
So you just can't have it both ways. And you only have it both ways because you want to cherry pick what you want to believe, and you want to cherry pick what you want to weaponize. You want to cherry pick how you want to interpret. And that's our problem. So that's why we keep talking about the spirit of Sawubona, the spirit of oneness that binds us together by our humanity. Even if a person is same gender loving, they're still human. Even if a person is a trans experience, they're still human. Even if a person is living with HIV, they're still human. Even if they are a person who is in love with a person who's living with HIV, they're still human. So I want to treat you, I want to interact with you based on your humanity. The rest of it is not my business. Unless you're hungry, unless you are incarcerated in a prison, that's what I need to be concerned about. That's where I need to show up for you. Those are the things that are going to be on my mind. You don't have health care. That's why I need to say, hold on. Let's see how we can come together around this. The rest of it, Yeah, we don't have to do that. And so, okay, I want to make sure that you extend the invitation to folks because we only got 3 minutes. We only got 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that people know that they are invited.
Absolutely. So we would like to grow and expand our book club. So you can reach out to me on my Facebook. You can reach out to the Arkansas Raps page. You can come by and visit us at 8619 Chico Road in Little Rock, Arkansas, located in Southwest. Just any way that you can reach out to us, our website, www.arrapps.org. Get in touch and let us know if you want to join.
Call you out on the air. Thanks for calling Kate at BF 88.3. This is Community Voices.
Hey there, I just had to give a quick shout out to my boy, Chase Sproles. I'm pretty sure he worked with your guest there.
Yes.
And he may even be listening himself. And so shout out to my boy, Chase.
Okay for the shout out.
Appreciate that.
So again, we need to make sure that we know if a person is going to your Facebook page, your name is Raheem, but it's only spelled with 1 E. I think that's important to remember. I think that's important for people to know because most of us we try to spell like it sounds, right? So we're gonna put another E in.
Right, or an E and an I.
Or an E in it. So no, it's RAHEM and white, WHITE, like the color.
I think my Facebook name may be Raheem Ahmad W.
Okay, right, with Raheem Ahmad W.
Ahmad
Oh,
AHMAD.
like Ahmad Aubrey. Okay, RAHEM Ahmad BW. And if you might get confused because when you look it up and you see the face is Issa Rae.
Yes.
That's who is not his face. It's Issa Rae. When you see Issa Rae, then that is his Facebook. Also, you can go to the Living Room Wellness Resource Center at 8619 Chico Road, and that's 72202. Okay.
72209.
72209. And then ARRAPPS.org.
Correct.
ARRAPPS.org. That's Arkansas Raps. And so if you're interested in joining the book club, we absolutely want you to. I think it's gonna. I can't wait. We meet every 4th Friday.
Yes, 4th Friday.
So far, 4th Friday, 6:30 to 8. Is it?
Yeah, about till we be saying till we finish.
Okay, but
we won't try to keep you too long. But if the conversation is going and it's getting good, we have some things we want to discuss. Then we are welcome to stay over.
And you're also grown, so you can leave anytime. The doors are not locked. And if they are locked, they're just locked for safety. You can unlock them.
Absolutely.
We don't want anybody to get kidnapped or being held captive. You can leave at any time. So I wanted to say thank you so much, Raheem, not just for being here, but for the work that you do, how you all support Community Voices. I mean, how y'all support KABF, but also how you support Community Voices. I am absolutely your partner. We are absolutely your partner. I try to show up as much as possible. We invite people to show up just like we did with the day party happening on the 20th. That's next Saturday. So I'll have an opportunity to announce it again on next Tuesday from 2 to 6 p.m. Want you to come out and have some free beverages, some free food, and get some free information.
And we're going to have a dunking booth, and we're going to be some of our community members. So if you would like to participate in that, please come and check it out.
I've never done that before. I absolutely want to do that. Thank you all so much for joining us for Community Voices. You have been live right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. Your girl Lola is already in the house, ready for 2 hours of jazz. It's Jazzy Tuesday. You do not want to miss it. Do not touch this dial. I'm going to get her started with one of the ladies coming in with Lauren Hill singing The Sweetest Thing. We'll see y'all next time.